Hey guys, it's Colin from Hollywood Studios here, and today we are doing another TierMaker.com video, and this time I made the template, and we are going to be putting B&M's coaster models into tiers. Now, there are some coaster models of theirs that I haven't written coasters for, such as their family coaster, their sit-down coaster, and I think that's it. Otherwise, I have written at least one coaster from each type of these. And I love B&M, so if I put one of their coaster models lower, that doesn't mean I dislike the company at all. They produce such good rides. They're always very smooth for the most part, and they're always very enjoyable. So let's start by going left to right with the dive coaster. Now, I have two very different experiences with dive coasters. I have Griffin at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which I thought was absolutely spectacular. It's in my top 25. The airtime was great. It was very intense, and I loved the splashdown. And then on the other hand, there's Valraven, which I thought was kind of I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't really like it that much. I thought it was kind of airtimeless and not too forceful. So for that reason, I'm going to put this model at B, just because it's not as, at its best, it's very good, almost deserving of A or S, but at its worst, it's definitely at C or even D. The family coaster model. As a family coaster, they look real, well, this ride looks pretty cool. It's just like their B&M inverts, but with different restraints, and they're obviously toned down to be family coasters. I mean, they probably aren't as good as their other coasters, just because this isn't meant to provide as crazy of a thrill as the other ones, so I'm going to put it at C. That does not mean they're bad rides. They look like great family coasters, really do, but in terms of thrill coasters, they're at C. Floorless coasters. I really like floorless coasters. Almost every floorless coaster I've ridden, I've enjoyed. I mean, there are a couple exceptions, which shall remain nameless, but coasters like Bizarro and Rougarou are just really good. And there are other floorless coasters which I have yet to ride, such as Kraken and Superman Escape from Krypton. No, it's Superman Krypton Coaster. Whoops. Well, I know it had Krypton in the name, but Superman and Kraken, and there's a few others that just look really good. So I'm going to put floorless coaster up here at A tier. Flying coasters. Now, I've only ridden one, which is Superman Ultimate Flight, so I really can't judge these based off that ride, because I've heard that other B&M flyers are ridiculously intense and crazy and good. Pictured is Manta, and I've heard Manta's really good with the water interactions and the overall layout and intensity. There are other coasters like Tatsu, Flying Dinosaur, that look ridiculous, and they are flying coasters. So while Superman Ultimate Flight is not the greatest ride, I'm going to put flying coasters at B. I would put them higher if I had ridden better B&M flyers. B&M Hypers, oh yeah, they're probably going up here at S. I have not ridden a Giga yet, but I will be soon when I ride Fury 325 at Carowinds. I'm very excited for that ride. I've ridden quite a few of their Hypers. I've ridden Nitro, Apollo's Chariot, and Diamondback, and they're all very good rides. Especially Apollo's Chariot and Nitro, they give some great airtime, and they have some really nice, intense moments. For that reason, I'm going to put Hypers at the S. Inverts. Now, I'm kind of conflicted between putting them at A or S, just because some of them are ridiculously great and intense and amazing, and others just aren't as good. So, I definitely think some of the inverts top some of the Hypers, but at the same time, some of the Hypers top some of the inverts. So I'm gonna put them at S, just because when inverts are really good, they are really good, and when they're not that good, they're still very good rides, not bad at all. Sit down. Now, I have not ridden any coasters like, say, Kumba or Hulk or Dragon Con, which is pictured, but I have ridden floorless coasters. Therefore, I'm going to put them right here at A, because chances are they provide a very similar, if not the exact same, ride experience, just with kind of different seats. Not crazy different, just kind of different. Stand-ups. Oh, the dreaded stand-up. I personally, I'm not the hugest fan, but I'm also not a hater of these at all. Pictured here is Green Lantern, which is my favorite one, even though I've only ridden this and Apocalypse at America, Six Flags America. And Green Lantern, it definitely has a lot of headbanging, and it hurts, and it really wears out your legs, but it's ridiculously intense. Very, very intense. And the layout is phenomenal. Apocalypse is also a good ride. It did not have that much headbanging, and I felt my legs get a little sore after riding just because of the nature of the ride's restraints. I did think the layout was a little bland though, so I've kind of noticed that with these stand-ups, you either have one that's really rough and painful but with a good layout, or you have one that is smooth and not too painful but its layout is boring. I mean, obviously the exception to that rule is Riddler Revenge. I have not ridden it, but I've heard it's really, really good. So I think I'm going to put stand-ups at C, just because they are definitely not B&M's greatest, but they're not terrible rides at all. Some of them are actually pretty good. And now our final coaster model, the Wing Coaster. Now I've only ridden one, but by the end of this summer I will have ridden 3 of the 4 in the US. And I've ridden Gatekeeper, and I have to say, I'm a pretty big fan of Gatekeeper. I mean, it's not the most intense or the craziest, but it's still a great ride, and I love the way it looks at the entrance of Cedar Point. I'm riding Thunderbird and Wild Eagle this summer. Wild Eagle also looks pretty cool. It doesn't have the wing over drop, but maybe I'll get a little bit of weightlessness going down the drop. I think the one thing that really holds these coasters back can be the restraints, and the fact that some of them are a little slower paced, but otherwise they're very good, and I've heard nothing but rave reviews about the Thunderbird, which I'm very excited to ride. The launch feature of it just adds a whole nother level, seemingly. So I'm going to put Wing Coasters up here at B, just because, again, they're not B&M's best, but they're far from B&M's worst. And I don't really think B&M has made any really, really terrible rides. Sure, some of them are boring, and some can be a little forceless, but for the most part, they are great rides. And that will conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what other TierMaker type videos you'd like me to do. Suggest templates in the comments section, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.